hacking a massive technological revolution that is completely rewiring the modern retail world. I mean, we all know AI is making waves, right? But the profound structural impact it's having on how we shop, how supply chains actually operate, and how products are marketed, it's just a truly fascinating discovery. We're going to break down the complex tech driving this shift and show you exactly how it all works behind the scenes. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just take a second to look at that staggering projection. Global enterprise generative AI spend is forecast to absolutely skyrocket to $19.2 billion by 2030. That is a massive number. It really shows we're moving far past the experimental phase here. This isn't just, a handful of tech giants playing around in the sandbox anymore. This represents a massive, calculated investment by industries worldwide. And the retail sector? They're literally leading the charge to fundamentally transform the consumer experience. So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the enterprise AI boom, then look at AI powering modern retail, compare machine learning versus symbolic AI, touch on training safe retail chatbots, and finally wrap up with the future agentic economy. Don't worry, we're going to connect all the heavy technical jargon right back to tangible retail applications. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the enterprise AI boom. We're seeing a pivotal shift right now. We are at a moment where the entire enterprise landscape is undergoing this massive shift. Check out this quote from the recent Global State of Generative AI and Enterprise Industry report. It says 2026 is the year that generative AI moves from tactical pilots to enterprise-wide transformation. What does that actually mean for industries like retail? Well, it means deploying these AI systems is no longer optional. It's become an absolute competitive necessity. Honestly, if a retailer isn't integrating these tools right now, they're already falling behind. Let's shift gears to Section 2, AI powering modern retail, and look at how these investments translate to actual on-the-ground performance. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the undeniable financial impact of AI recommendation engines on the customer-facing side of things. Look at these stats. A 2023 Brilliant study found that recommendations drive 31% of e-commerce revenue. 31%! And McKinsey attributes a massive 35% of Amazon sales directly to its recommendation engine. Even more wild, a Twilio segment study shows that nearly half, 49% of customers, buy unplanned items specifically because of AI personalization. And if you want a practical business outcome, just look at Worth UK. They achieved a staggering 1,303% return on investment simply by implementing product recommendations. I mean, the numbers absolutely speak for themselves. But hey, modern retail is being supercharged by way more than just recommendations. We're seeing this explosion of multimodal generative AI tools. Retailers are now using text-to-image models, think DALL-E, Midjourney, Flux, for rapid product design and synthetic prototyping. It's like having an infinite design studio at your fingertips. They're also leveraging text-to-video models like Sora and Veo to generate incredibly stunning marketing content from just simple text prompts. Plus, we're rapidly moving toward intuitive voice commerce and autonomous chat agents that can handle complex customer service interactions top to bottom without a human ever stepping in. Which brings us to Section 3, machine learning versus symbolic AI. Because a successful retail operation actually requires two very different types of brains, so to speak. And this brilliantly illustrates that divide. Running a massive retail operation isn't just about flashy storefronts or creative marketing. It requires some serious back-end heavy lifting. On one side, we have machine learning. This thrives on massive data sets and fuzzy patterns to predict what a shopper might want to buy. It's the engine behind those highly personalized recommendations we just talked about. But on the flip side, we have symbolic AI. Symbolic AI employs explicit, rule-based logic. It handles the strict constraints that cannot afford a guess. Because let's be real, nobody wants an AI getting creative with complex tax laws or retail lease agreements. So retail needs machine learning for the art of predicting human behavior, but relies completely on the transparency of symbolic AI for those strict black and white supply chain rules. Moving on to Section 4, training safe retail chatbots. Let's talk about the mechanics of keeping these customer-facing agents safe. So, now that we've got a handle on the back end, let's jump back to the customer. How do we actually ensure that those highly advanced chat agents are safe for the public to interact with? Well, the secret sauce here is something called RLHF, or Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback.
This is the exact reason a retail customer service bot stays helpful, stays on brand, and doesn't, hallucinate or accidentally insult a shopper. By using methods from reinforcement learning, developers can directly optimize a language model using actual human feedback. This aligns the AI with complex human values and strictly prevents any harmful or off-topic outputs. As you can see from this academic preprint on alignment research, RLH is a really rigorous scientific process. It relies on human evaluators providing preference ratings. Essentially, they're grading the AI's responses. This feedback is then used to train a separate reward model, which fine-tunes the original language model using classical techniques like proximal policy optimization. It's quite literally teaching the AI how to behave properly in a human environment. So, the crucial point is how these three steps actually come together. First up, you pre-train your language model on massive amounts of text. Second, you gather that human feedback data and train your reward model so it knows what a good interaction looks like. Third, and this is the big one, you fine-tune the model with reinforcement learning using something called a KL divergence penalty. Now, I know that sounds incredibly complex, but here's what it actually means in plain English. The KL divergence penalty specifically stops the AI from generating absolute gibberish just to trick the reward model into giving it a high score. It forces the AI to stay coherent, natural, and genuinely helpful. And finally, Section 5, the future agentic economy. What happens when these perfectly trained systems gain complete autonomy? Let's move to and see how this builds into the future, as detailed in a recent Tech Trends report by NatWest. We've seen how AI recommends products and talks safely to customers, right? But we are looking at a massive shift from generative AI, which just creates content, to agentic AI, which has actual decision-making autonomy. This paves the way for an always-on economy where enterprise activities are automated 24/7 by intelligent workflows. We're going to see the rise of AI-native organizations built fundamentally around AI from day one. And even more mind-bending, we'll witness the emergence of AI-only organizations. Imagine entire retail ecosystems operating seamlessly end-to-end without any human intervention whatsoever. Crazy, right? It's just an incredible shift to consider. A retail landscape that literally never sleeps, instantly anticipates your needs, designs products on the fly, and manages its own supply chain completely autonomously. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. How will a 24/7, autonomous, AI-native retail economy change the way you shop? Really think about it next time you click Add to Cart. Thank you so much for joining me on this Explainer Focused Learners. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.